Oh no, I am 1 minute late into the stream. No, 4 minutes late into the stream. What will I do? Oh no. Anyway, good evening, mercenaries, and welcome to the stream. Today will be a writing stream. It is going to be a very casual stream, and yeah, if you know what your if you know what happens on these streams, usually I just try to finish my stuff. So you know how VTubers have like their working streams? Yeah, this is kind of one of those working streams where I just kind of chill and finish up my stories. I have a backlog of stories right now, but whatever it is, I'm blabbing. Anyway, good evening. My name is Eiten Dylus. I am going to be doing a writing stream today, and we're going to be trying to finish up one of my short stories that I've been trying to do for the last few months, because every time I do this, every time I try to how do you say this, really? Every time I try to how do you say it? Every time I try to pick up my pencil and what's it called already? I'm every time I try to pick up my pencil, well, air quote pencil on my keyboard, I am really not just how do you say it? I'm really assaulted by work and whatnot, so it's kind of hard to find time to actually sit down and write. Because when I'm down from work, I kind of have to like de-stress, so I don't even have the energy to write anymore. But anyway, I'm prattling on without any context whatsoever, which is a hideous crime on part of the writer. And yeah, let me just quickly put everyone else back here. Okay, good evening, everyone. This is my story, The Ending. So if you're not familiar with me, I'm a very lore-based writer, and sorry, my throat is kind of busted for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. It should be fine after a while, but I do apologize if it's a little bit rough. But yeah, I think it should be fine after a while. But yeah, we're gonna for those of you who don't know who I am a VTuber who wants to capitalize more on my ability to write a good story. Well, not a good story. I don't think it'll be good until I finally get publishing experience and get like people actually coming over and saying, oh yeah, this story is interesting. But rather, I just want to publish a story and just get it out there that, you know, VTubers can be more than just VTubers can just be more than just the persona just being there. They're a gateway for a lot of different stories. All life fan fictions kind of prove this. But I'm sure this can apply also to lots of giant universes. And for those of you not in the know, I am already doing a lore primer for my universe called the Hollow Peninsula Lore Primer. I won't go into details for this one because I have done this for quite many times, but yeah, there is a lot of things to go about when it comes to my when it comes to the context of my world. And overall, I do feel like okay, I have a thing right now. I discussed this yesterday, but I'm going to apply it real quick. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, for those of you not in the know, I have griped with somewhat how do you say, I'm kind of griped with my role as a you know, a character in a pretty nasty world. But at the same time, I never really how do you say this? I never really dress up for the occasion or even look the part. Because if you see me right now, I am mostly just like this tiny cute little man. But if you take a look a little bit at my lore and then see how I've written myself, this is completely like what's it called already? This is completely antithetical to how I look as a chibi character, which I hope that my full life 2D will fix down the line. But yeah, it basically, I took the best parts of 40k, or at least I tried to merge what I thought would make a interesting post-apocalyptic setting that is horrific, based in Malaysia, but still tries on an idea of, as long as humanity lives, as long as a group of humanity lives and cooperates with each other, you can rise from the ashes. And it's a pretty common trope in any stories. But you know, I like to do this because I like to do this because I feel like this is something I can do, something I can do on my own, and I probably can claim it as mine. So the story I'm doing right now is set after the events of a massive war. And my character, or at least you know me, I am suffering from PTSD. I still remember the memories fresh. 5 months does not do you enough to really recover from a nasty war such as that. So honestly, it's not exactly the best time for me. This one was a pretty nasty fight, but whatever it is, yeah, it's just how it is, you know. Life is how it is. And the problem with this story right now is that it's the ending. It's the ending. I'm not really sure how to finish up the ending, because for the longest time, the story that I finished earlier on was All and Water, which was a story that I could finish reasonably well because it did deal with some trauma, but not too much. The endings being centered all around like trauma is harder to put justice to in that sense, because I really want this finishing to be very. I want basically after I'm how do I explain this without making this kind of confusing? Basically, the story is 5 months of recovering from the war. I am desperate to leave the sanctum of my base, even though I understand that even though my mind is saying my mind is very impulsive at this point. I want to leave. I just want to leave, but I haven't grasped fully what it means to really go back out in the world as a complete person. So when I go on the contract and manage to lie to my father, God rest his soul, what's it called already? As much as I could justify to my father that I was back to active service, or at least I could handle a meager task, I can't. And it turned out to be a disaster. And this is the part of the what's it called already? This is the part where I realized that I can let someone fix this without having to cause any more bloodshed. So I'm getting to that point, but I don't know how to resolve it in a way that feels satisfying without making it feel very quickly. So I'm going to follow up on this one. When you could hear it coming. So I'm trying to figure out how do I finish this. So let's just try to finish it up. Okay, so elite. The defensive line had gone quiet. Okay. Seemed like some peace had been afforded, but to put the sheer weight on everyone's shoulders to tax alone felt insufficient. Death was at its best was best when it was at its loudest and most obvious, when you couldn't hear it coming. So yeah, I'm just trying to finish up the story, especially since I am driven to finish it, especially as someone who's coming to grip with my own personal traumas. Not true PTSD, just my own possible personal problem. And the horrible music starts to come in. Okay, fantastic. Well, I wouldn't say horrible, but not appropriate. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna switch to something a little bit more somber. I love the Animal Crossing music, but not now, guys. We have to focus on. He seemed to be this. As you can see, my problem right now with this story is that I keep rewriting some parts because it feels like I'm not doing the concept of PTSD or impulsive thinking justice, and because I don't feel like I'm doing it justice, it really doesn't feel good. So I'm gonna try and sit down here and just straight out finish the story, because otherwise what's it called, as much as I what's it called already, as much if I can just finish this story pretty okay, I think it should be fine. This is just a draft because later down the line I'm most likely just going to how do you say this already? I'm most likely just going to have someone look through it and refine it, because I'm sure there are better ways to do this one. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Yeah. So anyway, how are you guys doing? It is a Thursday, and I hope you guys are doing fine. Usually, I don't stream on Thursdays. Heavy kind, one that choked you rather than smooth. Choked over smooth. One choke rather than. That was at his best. Behind barricade and within dark foliage, there was no telling when the chaos would erupt. Behind barricades, and within dark foliage. Each person, and I had tried to count accurately rough at the defense line, numbering 40, 30, 42 from my initial observations. Had no idea when as rubbed in. Each head ducked, the head tucked behind. What was it called? Wood and rabbit. When I had found place to watch over who was ambling up to the corner's barricade. Curious eyes. Part of me worried that one of these defenders would break his nerves and start the fighting all over again. Fortunately, despite her earlier hesitation, it seemed that Rakan was composed herself enough to offer a different solution. Loud, modulated, get clear over in the night. Okay, this one is just gonna be the ending. Once it's done, I may just leave it be and most likely just finish it up and leave it as is. We started out with a soft a lizard, a forked tongue, hissing slightly over the lift. I think I should just gonna delete this. It's enough. Ending stories tend to be a very hard thing to do, honestly. I really feel like I can do better with stories that are action-packed. At least this ending there is more conclusive. But if it's a story that requires a bit more diplomatic solution, it can be quite hard. So flaws away into something. Defenders, mercenaries, and raiders, Viborians I, as a member, do specials. I am lore keeper. I can do specials. Mercenary company. As a the company. Okay, that's right. Okay, then how does this end then? Lawkeeper. Heavy. I wish for this night to end without any bloodshed. So invoke the right. Okay, what was it called already? I remember this is a very particular reason. It's foreshadowed up top. Let me just figure out which one it was. Anyway, make yourself cozy. I am trying to ensure that everything would be done. Here you go. Here you go. Right, I can end it down here. Yeah, I can see a lot of the emotional writing over here on top, but I'm trying to make it clear here. Maybe if I split this up into more chapters, it will work, but it kind of ruins the flow because a short story in this collection, I feel like, should match the chapter lines bit by bit. Like it should roughly have the same amount of chapters. And if I feel like if I add another chapter, it might be a bit too much. I don't know. Maybe I can split it up into more chapters. Who knows? Very thirsty nowadays. And so invoke the power of the right. No, not the. I have seen death. The friends too many. The last few months. I do not wish for this night to end in further violence. Especially when I have recognized your rules. I invoke my. Oh man, okay, my Discord, my YouTube just crashed. Okay, that's fantastic. My YouTube just crashed. I have no idea why. All messy. Okay, there you go. Fine. I have recognized you. Okay. Slightly rough. I wasn't any better at diffusing situations. Much worse. Likely to escalate. Instead, I listened. Instead of pursuing any more offensive action. Actually, no, this is wrong because they're defensive. Instead of risking life and limb, I propose a ceasefire to discuss the your terms. No, I don't like how this is. This is so weird. I'm used to actually call to actions that are mostly around like gunfire and whatnot. Having call to actions that are based around East is something I'm not skilled at. I'm kind of bad at this, so let me just see how I can weave my way around it. Stylus, I listened. Instead of, however, with this I realized that you that your warband are looking for something specific, something that cannot be obtained without assumption or brute. However, this shouldn't be. As the master of the master of deck, I invoke my the power. At this point, this is where she starts to pull out the holographic fall card. She whipped out the holographic, quickly grabbing someone's flashlight and making sure that the Viborians in the woods could see it clear as day. I only wish to have your leader step forward and do I say parlay? I feel like parlay would be the right word for it. Right, parlay. Parlay. Do I say parlay? I don't think parlay is the right word. Oh yeah, parlay. Yeah, parlay. Parlay. Yeah, if you say parlay, it's good. I think this is the acronym. Or parlay. What can do there? First thing I noticed wasn't the everyone turned their heads. The most obvious of these had to be Cheval. Seemed more incredible, more aggravated, and I could imagine his head, the gears in his head turning, grinding against each other, thinking about how his not really dead comrade was being shamed. This sudden change of heart. Instead of, despite, while the defenders said nothing, while the village defenders said nothing, their faces at most showing signs showing either frowns or pure confusion. And appreciative. I think appreciative would be good. Cheval immediately stood and ate his way to the Rakan's impromptu auditorium. Knowing that something bad was bound to happen, silently, I don't like using adjectives to describe my. It's like telling, not showing. I glided my way, ignoring all the stabs in my shoulder. If I say silently, I might as well between. Fortunately, before he did anything. But most likely astonished that I okay, I don't know what happened, but astonished was spelled wrongly from the get-go. That was dumb. Most likely astonished that I was up about, which I wordlessly gestured. In response, his tone decidedly became more venomous once more. No, this is ridiculous. First, it's you and your baggage. Now it's you and now it's that. Get us killed. If we were going to get killed, we'd be dead already. I said, holding him back. Holding the cute twink back. Now sit down up and let the lady speak. As if it's him. He tried to move. He tried to return to his, only to find his body jerking back from my ankle. I'm holding. Hello, Oomphy. Hello, Rat. We're just writing stories, right? Body jerking back from my mechanical arms, like grip, vice grip. You saw the fan film of the Star Wars novel? You mean like the authentic one, or like the? There has been an issue actually. I kind of saw like controversy going around where a lot of Star Wars fan fiction guys, right? What's it called already? Fan fiction guys. Oh, Here to the Empire. Yeah, I saw Here to the Empire, but I heard controversies about it because apparently a lot of Star Wars fan film projects are AI generated. I don't know whether Here to the Empire is actually AI generated, but if it's not, I'd probably like to look at it one day. Otherwise, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing fine, right? Welcome. Oh my god, I'm finding myself just like copying other people's greetings. They shoehorn that fact that it isn't. They shoehorn that they had to say this isn't AI generated. If that's the case, I'll look at it. Is there was more than enough. Tell me that his royal this was before he could. Yeah, just about to take a nap because my mom wanted me to drive her to the airport. Oh, I see. Good luck on your drive. Safe journey. Is it been raining there? Anything. However, we both heard another voice. Crossed. This time, one that clearly belonged. One that I'll instantly recognize. Right. I think we should be fine so far. I'm just gonna check all of this right now to see how big this whole section is. My problem is I tend to write a lot for different sections. Chapter 6 in itself tends to be very long. I don't know how to say it. Maybe this is a better way. I don't have to describe the full ending. Yeah, 2,000 words is quite a lot already. Dear Lord Keeper Rakan. Attention, Lord Keeper Rakan. I, former Inquisitor, what was her name really? Did she had a particular name? Let me see if I could get her name right here. Yeah, I gotta figure out. This story is quite long, so hopefully if it comes out, it doesn't become too hard to read. But here, okay, ex-commissar Captain Pele. Oh no, why am I incorrect? The Tempest. Okay, Pele. I am former Captain Pele, leader of the firstborn Viborian. I don't want to. What's it called? Viborian firstborns. Firstborn. Brothers. Was it royal kindness? Run out with such a baller statement. Okay. I am Captain Pele, leader of the Viborian firstborn. Okay. And I acknowledge your request. Harley. How can we be assured that? How can I be assured? Yeah, that because it's on. Sure that upon stepping out, I will not be fired upon. Rakan, sensing that the power, what is it called? That sensing a shift in power, became firmer. Captain Pele of the Viborian firstborns. I cannot guarantee. Because of your actions tonight, I cannot. Wait, no, I can be here if I can just do what I can. It's easy. I cannot assure. How do you say assure you that many of my colleagues share my request. However, I can only mention that for whatever situation that requires such important cargo, and you have my deepest hearing Captain Pele's voice said, harder. Let go, boy. His movements became more forceful. Yeah, forceful. So this. She's a raider. True. There's no situation in which try often to have mercenary, if only to feel that Blair became the exact same as weaknesses, Blair in the wound. That the only response, I don't want to say eyesight. Okay, I'm gonna avoid saying eyesight. Okay. He's a cute guy. He's being unreasonable. I'm going to be I really wanted to keep the night free to follow Rakan's desire for as this knight, as Cheval, fortunately, seemed unreasonable. I did the only thing that I took the quickest way to defuse. If he thought he punched me hard, he punched me, if there was any thoughts that I had lost it, that I had lost my nerves, it quickly disappeared right after can you punch someone hard enough to like knock them out? Punching someone hard enough to knock them out. Okay, uppercut hook, knockout. Okay, so knockout to the chin, right? Oop, the button fights him, go sleep, rock him, sock him, robot. Okay. What is a hook? Okay, I need to see what a hook is. Hook to someone's chin. A hook, fighting. Okay, how does it do? Hook is upwards, right? Okay. Right after. Hook to the chin. Lightning pass. I really wanted to follow this mobile. Cheval unfortunately seemed unreasonable. Agitated. He'd be out for a couple. So I thought to let him that he never saw. The villagers around me stumble backwards on hearing the sound of his body dropping. Watching quietly as I dragged his body was unceremoniously dragged off to the lie behind barricades. One. What's a barricade? Yeah, I punched a cute guy. How could I? So by the way, I think this helmet is kind of big, so I'm blocking it. I feel like I'm blocking it. Give me a moment while I fix this real quick. I feel like I'm blocking the text right now, but I think right. I'm gonna move the text here. If I move the text here, I don't think I should be blocking the text. Be dragged off to arrest. Once that was done, okay, continue my eager listening. Continue. Once. This world is not one that we should die over human done so much to fight all that the world is. Done so much to die over paranoia and distrust and senseless. I am sure that my colleagues here even here where I stand and the sentiment to this I say, defenders, lower your weapon. The villagers initially hesitated. After all, they had spent their lives defending against. Why stop here? Even the members of let me see what was through here. Let me see if I can get his name. Deacon Sheamus. Yeah, Sheamus. Even members of Sheamus's hesitated. They knew better than to be naive. Rakan faltered, seeing as everyone refused to drop. Pray that hill. If they don't, who could? The answer came pretty quickly. The person who form of Sheamus himself taking. He turned to Rakan, asked politely for her strange device, and quickly and began. This much is true. Even one who was not born. Locked members. My fellow brothers, yeah, they go. My brothers sisters. The Lord Keeper, right? This world, but we can be more than that. Agni Pintero, hello everyone. Yes, I punched it. How are you? Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I'm just trying to finish up the story. If there's any other song. I'm just gonna swap between like different like what's it called, different Forever Winter songs. I find them really nice. Our brothers and sisters, this world is death, but we can be more than that. Look around you. And the Marang just stands not because you should. Was it trust cooperation? Forgive me. There are those among you that have been visited by the thoughts going to extreme, but you chose it. Better. Tonight, as the Lord Keeper pointed out, people who attacked are indeed its fish. Look before you are your people. It's like, it sounds like Christian preaching. Oh, mightily. Are your people hurt? Are they wounded? Only the earth salted, nothing more. Captain Pele of the Viborians. I too cannot verify if the Lord Keeper is. To this, I ask you, what is the reality of your situation? Yeah, I feel like this is more satisfying. I don't get to explore like the character of Seamus. I mean, I don't think I need to, but I think he serves as a good one because no one's willing to trust Rakan, as she's a lizard person, right? So I feel like they'll by on the words of an outsider who clearly did not belong here. Despite the words being much closer to their gospel. To me, only I cannot verify this house. Speak truthfully, and mean me. Hopeful silence. Button looked enormously at this. I didn't know if she looked my way, but as I didn't know if she realized I had joined her, but I think this, yeah, I feel like this is a much more satisfying ending, but I'm gonna have to rework some of the what's it called? I need to rework some of the story to have more Seamus, at least to build him up as like a father figure as well. Not, yeah, for like a father figure. I feel like this is a definitely good ending, and it had to do with stalking someone who is still a representation of a very hateful brigade. And of the Patriots. Add. Okay. For you. My brother's is as a decon of the old world. What was it really? Let me just see what was the answer came pretty quickly. This is my favorite phrase. I like it so far. My favorite phrase is the answer came pretty quickly. Out of all the cards that could be played tonight, taking stage was not device of mightily. Oval salvation. Oval salvation. Salvation. I cannot verify. SB always. Good morning, hello, good morning, welcome to the stream. I'm trying to finish up the story. I'm getting a pretty good ending, but it needs some rewrites. But I will not pursue the rewrites until like later on. On behalf of the Viborians. This feels like a Christian thing now, but our people are dying. The disease, even our best family. Pocketry. Pocketry. I can't even spell the word apothecary. Even our best apothecary cannot cure. We attacked your convoy in the hopes of stealing the medicine. Medicine within. Here are sick. There are dozen women, children. Women, children, elderly. Yeah, it's like if it feels like I'm making like a weird like an evangelical thing, but I think this is interesting so far. So let me just see here. Not here. Okay. Galleons with horse and wrong. That of my old regime. But regime that no longer value humanity. If Cheval was like, if Cheval much as he hated Awang's regime, just like kind of person would as much as he spoke of being distasteful, I can't spell properly. Anyway, Roy, how are you doing? Right, I'm finishing up this like somewhat PTSD story, I guess, but it has a happy ending. Only obedience and ruthless. Be tasteful about Awang. He ended up no better. Unbelief. Still, I hope come around to agree. Seamus was one to agree. Go. Alright, then I can just kind of wrap this up by saying that these are best pockets. All as shame. Seamus continued. supplies back from gamers. Continued. Then we shall value humanity. Yeah, this is a damn good one. Okay, we shall value humanity. And you will have our word. Finally turning to the defense line, and without even raising his hand, everyone finally relented. I breathed easy, looking up starry night. Felt like something in this contract. It's not a horse though. It's not a horse. Yeah, actually I did name him after like Cheval Grand, but in this story he does end up being an asshole. But I don't know. I like this contract and best way. Let me see if I can call back. Let's just copy this. I want it to end. Looking up the starry sky. Okay, I think there should be a decent ending, but again, the problems with this one is that I need to change. If I want to really make this story stand out, I need to do several different things that I'm going to list down here. Okay, to-do list for second draft. Okay, Okay, I'm gonna do this for second draft. Yeah, so make Cheval more subtly bloodthirsty. Remove big gay. Remove not big gay. Remove sudden crushing. Involve Jameis more, and then after that, what's it called? Focus on leaving the gun behind. Okay. Other than that, I think giving peace. The starry night. Outcome. Okay, so these are the second draft. I think I'm done with this one. I'm actually kind of happy with this one. I feel like this is much better than the forced dialogue that I had. Because at least now it was it called Cheval here being present for like the last bit, and then realize it was it called turning out to, even though he's a noble and he opposed like a dictatorship, he's still part of a problematic system that's fiercely patriotic. A chance, not change. Okay. It felt calmer. Look forward to 8 p.m. No, I think I should leave it. But then again, I probably have to leave the ritual behind because all of this is here. No. What's it called already? I didn't I really needed a ritual. Okay, there you go. I think we can leave it as that. I think this should be good. Okay, that should be all for the endlings. If you want to take a look at the story, you can always check it out on my server. I will try and fix up everything else because I don't know how to say it already. I feel like a lot of stuff about the story is overblown, especially since I focus a lot more like animals and whatnot, and I will need to try and change up the tone, make the deacon a little bit more what's it called? Make the deacon what's it called? I need to make the deacon a bit more I need to make the deacon a little more pious, holy, I guess, preachy a little bit, and then lower down the what's it called already? Lower down the what's it called? Lower down the flashback scene and make it more punctuated. I know. I think this one can stay the same. I need to. I don't know how to say it. A bit hard, but I'll figure it out when I actually have the story in my mind. So for now, the endings is actually good. I think Warriors, we're looking. I think this should be okay. I don't know. I'll fix up the rest of the story, but for now, I think it should be good. It should be good. Okay, now. I don't know, it feels rushed. I feel like this story was a bit messy, but I think it's okay. So I'll leave it as is. So this one is done. This one is done. Now I'm going to focus on Antiophobia because this one is a story that kind of sucks for me. Because it's a story about a father and a son, and the father just not not being a very good father. So I'm just gonna try my best to do this one as best as I can. And I will fix this up as best as I can. Maybe I'll just get rid of this first of all. Yeah, I'll leave this one be, and then figure this out later on. But no, figure this out down the line. But for now, let's try. Let's try and focus on Antiophobia. At least if we can get this story started, it'll be good to just see how it develops. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Any warrior, instructor. What's it? Instructor, hero, savior, monster hunter, mercenary. If there was one thing he was not, however, misread it as Antoniophobia and what Antonio did. This is actually a word I found online. It's Antiophobia. So this one is interesting. Needing a loved one, wondering if this would be the last time you ever see. Many more. Under these titles, one was conspicuously father. I feel like this is fine, right? It is. As far as he could remember his own father. Or remember, he had been Junshi didn't really have much. He had died shortly after he was born, having fought off a beast, a grotesque beast, while his mother was covering that he had been raised by until he could take. The thought of fatherhood never once crossed his mind as well. How could it? The life of a mercenary was too dangerous for what's it called, for those seeking hard family. Some made it vision, but Junshi found that incredibly risky for no gain at all. Family of monster hunters could enjoy their prestige and bask in their glory over in a night and die horribly the next, should their quarry be especially brutal. Okay, there you go. This is just fatherhood stuff. No matter how much All this compounded by the simple fact that not just mercenary, but the mercenary. It company pretty well known across the. When he was given the task of care, okay, this one is a bit weird. So, ask yourself. Oh, this one's. How do I do this? This is weird. I've never been a father, so taking care of like kids in school is a different thing. This is completely different. Being a father was, far as he could tell, near his bucket. Was it called near the end of the list of he needed to accomplish his lifetime in his lifetime? He already trained young, what's it called, young youths come battle ready. Isn't that enough? In his mind, that answer sounding so when this one is roughly so when 12 no 13 years ago was in use party Holter. I don't know. This is a weird story to start off. How am I gonna do this? Of course, he never knew Peninsula are more than these qualities. And unpredictable storms could be sometimes prove more That's a mercenary, the mercenary here. Today, as the sun set on a bloody battlefield, covering the entirety mining town, reflected on how his life suddenly changed. A child dropped into his care, not as a youth to be trained as a mercenary, no, but as boy who needed to be raised. When a child suddenly dropped. This was not a boy who was birthed naturally. Nor one of his own. This was a boy whose family had died, and father had unexpectedly him. Sultan day as he effortlessly lifted war axe off nearly mangled neck of a raider dared to approach. Dunshi could only think one word. And that to solve this. I don't think we want to do a town assault. This is not a town assault thing. Angle neck and braided head there. You can notice that all these sections are all very action packed as well. This is very interesting. They had dared to attack. And of this town. Only one word bounced off in his. Perfect. This was the worst place to bring your son. He was nowhere. My son, where are you? Rah! Son! Okay, there we go. There's prior. Son. How are you feeling? Son! He's a horrible father. How do I start this one? Staring down proudly at a small the boy who's he's basically a child soldier at this point, whose head was stood only who let me see if I can point it out to his like father, because you gotta remember his father is a really tall motherfucker. Yeah, yeah, it's like I think like boy Stylus would be roughly around his like thigh. Yeah, his thigh. I don't know, thigh are just roughly to his waist. Whose head could only reach his own. He was staring down at a boy. This boy. Busy was the boy with his new arm, trying his best. Keep the leather straps. How do you put on? I need to check. No, it can't be the same armor here. It has to be different. So let me just see. I need to take a look at my body stance, dog. Gotta take a look at my moon reference. What's it called already? It's like armor, like bulletproof vest for like. Bulletproof vest for kids would be like a really weird thing to say. Wow, I'm involving what's it called already? I'm involving straight up children soldiers. Is fantastic. Child body armor. Garden Angel vest. What's good, Eiten? Writing a novel? Writing a short story. I just finished one more already. So the endlings is done. I have already finished a to-do list already for this one. I'm focusing now on antiophobia. Antiphobia. No, it's antiophobia actually, not antiophobia. Okay, antiophobia. The background music a little louder than you. Oh, is it? Really? My bad. Sorry. I didn't notice that the whole time. It can be loud. I really apologize. I like to relax a bit, especially since it's forever winter stuff. Yeah, I'm writing. I finished this short story. This short story also has 6 chapters. This one also has 6 chapters, but it's slightly longer. So this one should have roughly 6 chapters as well. And this one has 5 chapters, but I am probably going to lengthen it or rework some of it to be a bit more clearer. This one will probably have less chapters. So I'm trying to finish up all these stories so that once they are done, I can publish them to a site, and then after that, see whether I can what's it called already? I can fix them up already. It's medieval steel armor. Oh my god. I can see. Trying to invest the at frost is and he had already been in Junsi slightly only continued once the boy one's son had, yeah, this is now a son story. So what's it called? This is now Junji's story with Dylus. So basically all these follow like how do you say it? All these follow like very specific theming. So the first story is with Yumiko, the second story is with the father, the third story is with the robot uncle, and then after that the fourth story is with the lizard lady, and the fifth story is with the Tempest, which is quite dark. It's gonna be very dark. It has cannibalism, so it'll be interesting. And here is Tama. How does you skill. Right there. Right, father. Who picks up his, trying to see if there was a way to do this. Can't seem to make it loose. He's feeling over. The sound of his armor shifting was loud enough to startle the boy slightly. Of his heavy set armor. Yeah, by the way, my father is not like my real life father. This is the Dylus father, and he kind of looks like this. Yeah, the guy is massive. So I imagine his face being a mix of Tamura Morrison and my real father, because when I think of this character, I think of like Django Fett, or like, yeah, I think of Django Fett really, and Master Chief mix. So yeah, that is kind of funny, not gonna lie. He's in all terms a Destiny Mandalorian. That's also Chinese. Okay. Loud enough. Start the ball slightly. With some bits digging into his skin from how deep he felt. Like this, he expertly guided one's hand towards the apex. What's it called? The end of the straps. And gentle touch, with a gentle motion, loosen the straps. You have to loosen these things or putting them. Okay. You have to loosen these things before putting them on. Okay. You won't have time to make adjustment once you're in combat, you know. I know. Breathing easily. But we aren't in combat. We're just visiting mercenaries hall. Yes. I'm making him a warm father. But not too warm. Oh, and he'll tag along with us for your first guided assignment. Oh, you need to remember that. No telling what will happen out there. Don't worry. No bad guys. No bad guys gonna stop you. I'm trying to figure. Not me. I'm good. Done. Dead. Wow. His brimming smile accompanying scruff. What's it called? The scruffing. The scruffing of Alice's messy hair. It's you, little king of the big. I'm no king, just a kid. I'm no king. Fine. Yes, for putting on his helmet, his visor, his wide visor glowed brightly. A voice. For a split second, his view disappeared. Then, boy reappeared alongside the sides of a combat vehicle and the front entrance of the mercenaries guild hall. I don't remember, but yeah, this is for my lore. If you are interested, I do have an excessive lore primer that describes all these characters. I keep them here also just to be more organized as well, but a lot of the characters here don't really have proper character model. Miriam is going to be done by Omega. Jokon, Brenner, and are probably gonna get fleshed out later on. The Tempest also is gonna get fleshed out later on. Rakan already has a mood board. Will be sorted out later on as well. But the only ones that have clear designs is Tarn, Junshi, and John Yunshi, Yumiko, as well as Dylus. Obviously, is me. So I'll try and get as much of the world fleshed out as much as I can. It's kind of hard to work with limited resources, especially since I really for all these smaller things I feel like I want to get art for them. But things like Pathfinders, I don't think I will be able to for things like these mercenary corporations. I don't think I'm going to be able to afford any kind of visual things. But since I do not want to resort to AI, I'll just use screenshots or concept art I found online. So yeah, this is from my MechWarrior gameplay. This is from Limbus Company. This is from Black Ops 3. This is from Final Fantasy. This is from Battlefield 6. This is from Spectral. This is from Mad Max. So all of this I just use as standalone concept art right now. And then notable cities and whatnot. I don't really have anything in other pictures for them. Ray Alert 3 obviously is there. 40k, and then there's a lot more. I just use these standing pictures to help flesh out the world. Not the best, but it works. Anyway, let me continue back my writing. You can explore more of the world, but right now I am trying to fill up everything. It's a little bit tough, especially since I want to focus more on the writing. A voice entered his head. Monotonous, comprehensive, speaking to him. What's it called? Welcome back, Captain. Putting up navigational. Into him. Kim. what's it called? Booting up. What's it called? Start hub diagnostics. List. Skip diagnostics. It's like powered armor at this point. Looking. Others. Innocently, he asked. As Father, when will I get my own yours and the others? He innocently asked. Don't you already have yours? Stylus looked. It wasn't attached belt, nor was it in on floor. The boy looked a little more and started fidgeting. Standing up and looking to the building had arrived in as expected is Stylus. It's so weird writing a smaller version of me. Had carelessly left it on the back seat of the scooping it up, planted the helmet on it, and while tying his strap, and what did I tell you about forgetting your equipment? A dead man? What's it called? Only a dead man forgets his armor. Maybe not the best phrase to reinforce. And you forgot. Or hell? What if a nasty critter crawled up back and went Junshi with 2 fingers pressed down on the back of this helmet. Boy jolted. Really more thick. He did, boy. That won't do. Gotta helmet. Not just the helmet, it, but everything you like. Me? As Stylus nodded, what's it called? When she looked around. His crew, consisting of several dozen weathered mercenaries who were either busy talking with each other, what's it called, sharpening their blades, or staring confoundedly at their leader being rather soft with his son. Of this group, there were two individuals that he tied to this boy. One Brenner, Captain Brenner Rosa, and one Karl. As he was more professionally known. Okay, hold on, where is it already? Oh. Brenner was busy keeping his own line with today's operation. So, when she the whistle for the old boy. Brenner! Captain Brenner! His hearing sharp ever. Before she knew it, man was right in front of them in a solid. What's it called? Solid mercenaries salute. Yes. Boys in your charge. I don't think that Paul's oh yeah. Well, this is like these aren't good for any hits. What was it called? Borrowing his beard. What he's what's it called? Oh, green graying beard. Not sure why you think. Battlefield experience. This is a light. So long kept away from most of the fighting. Any happens, he should be good. They're oddly thick here. This is common. Guy who Worse. And we'll well, there's a reason for us to feel greater. Us. We'll leave that to him. Make sure Cozy's up. Five. Before looking. This whole time, boy had been rising and brimmed eagerly from having listened to their conversation. Alright, kid. Stay close, stay sharp. Don't get too nosy. Don't be too nosy. Nosy. There you go. Oh yeah, this is actually a very good opening. Not that bad. I think it's easily readable. Yeah. So far, good opening already. As she watched Stylus skip away towards Brenner's group to welcome the peppy boy. And the other of second command, Arn, slowly approached Anna. Even without looking, and she could tell and guess that machine had some choice words to say about this. Okay, so far I'm gonna change up the music right now so that it's not too long. I think so far, how's the writing so far? It's a bit confusing, especially since what's it called? It's still a bit confusing considering that there's no context for this, but generally this is just my dad. He is not exactly what you would call a fair father figure. I mean, he's pretty adoring. He's pretty adoring here so far. So what's it called already? He is a dad, but he's also a dad that's just sort of like I don't know how to say it. He's rather eccentric and doesn't really know about what's it called? He doesn't really know about how to actually properly take care of a kid. So his idea of bringing his kid out for like a fun adventure is to bring him to a middle of like a war zone with raiders that are more likely to murder the kid. So that's pretty much it. I don't know. It is funny. I feel like that in essence, it's a pretty bad father, even in a post-apocalyptic world. And what else already? What else already? We do have what else is it already? how do you say it already? Yeah, it's just that he also doesn't really pay attention to his child's like emotional needs. He is he treats him well, but when it comes down to chips, really addressing the kid, he doesn't know how to do that, which is similar to my experience with my father sometimes. Because as much as he means a lot, he's also from a different generation, so sometimes he cannot relate to me. And I don't know. You just trying to figure it out. I don't know. I like the father is nice here, but later on you'll just see that he is what's it called already? You'll see that it's a little bit weird on the line because there's no normal rationality for bringing a kid to a middle of a war zone. I hope I hope it makes sense, but maybe it's just me. Also, there's like a piece of thing in my mouth that's kind of itchy right now, so how far are you going? How far are you right now, guys? How what are you guys doing right now? I hope you guys are having fun, at the very least, doing whatever you are. Maybe I'm just losing my mind at this point. Totally losing my mind as I'm. So right now, I think I can finish up this fair bit. This is just as a. Oh, Derek. Prepared. Or spoken brutality. Sir, I still believe it is a bad. It is a third. What is it called? It is. Would a machine say bad? What would the formal word to say bad? Formal word for bad. To involve boy. Already, like, is it called? Lucy's thing. 2 fingers. Furrowed his brow. I don't think furrowed his brow. What's it called? Fingers. Oh, pressed. Okay, I think I know how to say. Press both brows. Not like he heard on say this roughly 6 over the plus. Response believe. Sometimes I wished topped with predictive audio. We're making a logical observation. Or not knowing when to let things. This is not a battle-ready individual. This teenager has 0 combat experience, and we have decided to have him this is a outside of his experience, outside of his training. Did well in those. In this kid draw a pistol quicker. A merc. Yes, seen. This. Right. Far lower. Fine is when the boy is not placed in any situation. Good. Pause it. Yes, don't bring the boy towards any location that causes him immense pain, or this is going to be a terrible situation. This original. Still having catalog the full extent of him. Suddenly, the old Sultan of mercenaries boys from what's it called, from mere annoyance deadly hot. Even if I discuss it privately, you will. Again, the robot's gonna be more formal, so there's no contractions. You will never permit me to fully qualms retreating him. Look at him. Gesturing towards Stylus. He was busy with one of the older members of Brenner's group. Woman, what was it called? Junshi clearly remembered as being married her own son. Granted, the life of a mercenary had a high lethality, and he had tried to convince her to at least take up an administrative. Like that, here this person stood, bottling young boy and allowing to inspect a rather large this gave the mercenary more than enough assurance that he was on the right. He's surrounded by the best damn vanguard to be gonna get in this fucked up world. They know my standing. They know my standing objective, and they will do anything care. If he doesn't get used how this world works, then he will forever stuck in our base. There are alternatives. Rather disappointed. In you do not acknowledge. I have. The argument was going to last forever. Didn't she move to shut him down by what's it called? Dialing his helmet's navigational audio. Soon the path to their employer only needed to make simple gesture for them to move in. As they walked into the hall, even so, some portions of his heart did think that this probably not the best experience for a young. It was, however, the only way could ever grow. That being with a person. Okay, so I think that's all for what's it called already? I think that's all for this particular section for now. But I think it is pretty decent as a starting point for Antiophobia, especially since there's not a whole lot I can dedicate to, and this chapter is slightly more action-packed. So again, like I said, All in Water is a story between Yumiko. Like I said, Yumiko is technically Dylus' stepsister. Ibex, black hair, purple hair, psyker, alcoholic, and will kill you if you try to flirt with her. me like women. Yeah, so the first story is about her, and then the second story is about the father being a bad father, even though he's a very good warrior. The third one is about Tarn. I will probably rewrite it as soon when I can. And then we have the endlings, which is Dylus and Rakan. And then after that we have Hulk Cried the Tempest, which is Dylus and the Tempest. Okay, so otherwise that's it. I think that's all for today's stream. I think that is very good as far as I can tell, and I am going to go to the chatting screen. Yes, I like writing streams. They're definitely more, they are definitely more relaxing that than they get let on actually. So I hope you guys are doing good so far. I hope you guys enjoyed the writing stream. Of course, having you guys what's it called already? Having you guys come over and just like listen to this guy type and yap is always very nice, considering that I feel like writers do have it a little rougher trying to get out into public, but not into like public, I guess, in this kind of particular area. So yeah, I'm mostly happy I get to do this, and I still want to do this somewhat I still want to do this somewhat actively, because I want to promote more writing. Of course, I'm not really good at that, but of course I'll try and come up with some new story ideas to do on stream so that we can keep it fresh instead of doing like lore stuff over and over again. And yeah, I didn't feel pressured to like talk about life and whatnot. I think life so far has been going on pretty good. So with that, thank you guys for coming to the stream. That is all from my end of this week. If you're interested, I will be on someone else's stream. If you know my friend Ratanat45, I will be on his stream, and I will just basically how do you say it? I'll basically be watching this goofy ass dinosaur game, and it's gonna be dumb as hell. But yeah, do come by. I'll post the announcements on my server, right? I'll post the announcement on my server. By the way, if you haven't joined my Discord server, you may do so to get some additional announcements. I will unfortunately no longer be doing too much announcements, or too much announcements, or posters on social media, because I'm finding them completely horrible to use. I don't get any mileage out of them, and for the last 5 years I have not been I've been trying my best to use it. It is just not effective for me, and I don't want to push myself to learn something that is just kind of annoying. So yeah, I hope things are all good so far. Um what's it called already? So yeah, that's all. I won't be doing a whole I won't be doing a whole lot with social media. I'll just be lurking and just commenting on anything really. So yeah, thank you guys for coming to the stream. I'll see you tomorrow on Rat stream if you guys are coming over. And with that, glory be a day, mercenaries. Have a good one. And thank you for accompanying this mercenary for his law writing stuff. With that, good night. Have a good one.